Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Harmon Homestead. I've got my video turned horizontal today, so maybe you can see that a little bit better. I know someone said, turn your video. Well, I didn't even know my phone stand could do this, okay? So we all know that I'm not the most technologically advanced person. But anyways, we're here, we're back, we're in front of the garden. Look at all this, look at the bush beans over here. That's in my compost bed. Active compost, okay guys? Tomato plants are skyrocketing. You see bush beans behind me, tomato plants, squash, zucchini, rocking and rolling. I'm going to do a video on how we prune tomatoes. That's coming up. You may find that very interesting. There's a lot of advice on the internet. A lot of it you need to listen to. A lot of it doesn't work for us. So I'm going to show you what we do, okay? This is a chicken scratch talk time today, and y'all, it's hard for me to stay still. I'm all over the road, so I can't sit down, I can't stand up, I'm moving back and forth, okay? So I hope this lady doesn't mind me sharing this, and if she likes it, she can feel free to share it, whatever. There is someone who has been so supportive of us since we started, and I hope she watches this video, but she is Hilltop Home Place. I like her. I like what she posts. I like what she does. She's a small channel. She's like us, but she's trying. She's getting her feet off the ground. She's doing great. She grows her own food, gives a lot of advice. I really like her. And this morning, I stumbled up on one of her videos that said, where do I fit in? And I got to thinking about that. And I said, you know, so many people feel pressure to fit in a certain way. And she did. She did. Whether you know, do you have a certain amount of animals, or do you have this, or are you doing this right, or blah, 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 as far as homesteading, or anybody wanting to grow their own food. Guys, from day one that I was born, I have always been different, okay? You can tell, look at my shirt here. I've done one video with this shirt on before. My favorite artist of all time, John Fogerty. John Fogerty had a voice that will never be replicated. Your biggest stars, Chuck Berry, Jimi Hendrix, George Jones, Merle Haggard, all these people, Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette, I'm talking about classic rock, classic country. What did they all have in common? They sounded like no one else. They had something about them that was totally different. No one could copy. No one in the history of the music industry will ever be able to copy those people and not be like the original. They were different. They embraced their differentness. And guys, that's what you've got to do. And her video, when I watched it, I said, you know, she felt a lot of pressure to try to be like all of these other people. I am the total opposite. If it's popular, I'm going the opposite direction. I'm just that way. If you tell me show up to a Christmas party, I'm gonna come in boots. If you tell me show up to clean out a chicken pen, I'll come in heels. I'm just that type. It always falls that way. I am not going to fit in. And at some point, you have to embrace that. Embrace it and enjoy it. There is so much pressure on us to try to have the most plants, and oh, just because so-and-so is growing red auroch, we need to go grow this. You got to find what you like. If you like to do that kind of stuff, then you need to do it and do well at it. If you don't like it, then do your own thing and be happy with it. We're different here. We have chickens. We have ducks. We have tried to make that our top thing, that and growing our own food, because that's what we like. It may be popular to go out and get all of these Nubian goats. You know, we don't have that. We don't care for that. You know, just because so-and-so does that has 1 million subscribers on YouTube doesn't mean that we have to, but we all fall into that pattern where we feel like we got to do what other people are doing. You need to go do your own thing. Someone told me this past weekend, they said something about my roosters crowing, and I said, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what I like. You know, we're out in the country. It is what it is, and that's what I like. I would rather see a 31-year-old go out here and have 15 roosters than having a house party every night, you know. I mean, come on, man. Come on. That's just what we like. That's what we like, and we are who we are, and we cannot change it. So, and I'm an old soul. I embrace that. Do you know how hard it is? A lot of 31 years old, and you like classic country, classic rock, doing agriculture, okay? And I'm not talking about commercialized, I'm talking about backyard agriculture. You like vintage stuff, you like flea markets, thrift stores. Do you know how hard that is? There is no one in common to talk about this stuff with. I mean, no one likes this stuff. This is a dying art, and that's why I started this channel, to try to revive it a little bit. There's good in this. You got to enjoy it, and you've got to be you. You got to enjoy it. You got to. If you're trying something new, and I think everybody should try new things, consistently, to keep your interest peaked, because you're going to get bored and you're going to get burned out with this kind of stuff. Always try something new. However, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't try all new things or feel pressure to do all of this because other people are doing it, because you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of resources trying to copycat someone else. And it seems like so many people, if they put up, oh, you need to do this right now because X, Y, and Z is fixing to happen. That's what a lot of these homesteaders do. And people just love it. And they thrive on that. Instead of talking about it, can we just go out here and grow something? Can we just go do it? Instead of, it's a lot of distractions, okay? There's a lot of moving objects going on, and people are they're just getting way off track. And you can sit and you can think about it all day long, but unless you get out here and do something by hand, it's pointless. So, I mean, I listen to a lot of channels. I try to implement what they say. I think it's good advice. But at some point, you're going to have to take what they say and then go put it to use. Does that make sense? I mean, don't get tangled up in thinking that you have to be like someone else, or everything they say is just the golden rule of whoever you're listening to, like pruning tomatoes. My tomatoes back here, guys, they're not going to look like the internet will tell you. They do not. Because everybody on the internet says, oh, you've got to get those suckers. You got to prune these suckers up this tomato plant. Well, that's true to a certain degree for us. We do that just a little bit. The very first year I went and did that because so-and-so that had 2 million subscribers said that. Well, my plant did not bear any fruit. Those suckers are there on that plant for a reason, okay? You have to look at how the plant was designed to grow. Since a tomato was created, it's there for a purpose. I mean, a lot of this you got to be very judicial about what information you're listening to, and you got to do what you like, okay? This is something else that's going to go way down the rabbit hole. Knowledge. You need to gain every inch of knowledge you can. We are trying to be good at this. We want to be the best backyard vegetable growers we can be, so we've tried to learn. We know we want to grow our own food, and that's who we are, and we accept the uniqueness of that. That's fine. Now we want to do well at it. That's something else. Don't get so bogged down about, oh, well, you know, Bobby Sue's over here planting 500 tomato plants. Why don't you learn how to grow one and do it well? You're never going to succeed unless you know the subject. That's in anything in life. You may get lucky. You may do something well a couple of times, but you have got to know the subject to be successful. If you want to be the best tomato grower there is, look up everything you can. Learn about hybrid, heirloom, GMO, non-GMO, bioengineered. Guys, I got into that this weekend. I went down the rabbit hole with that kind of stuff and just learned. I knew about heirloom and hybrid, but I did not know about this other stuff. I'd heard GMO, but I'd never heard the word bioengineered. There is so much information to learn about the food that we eat, that we grow. Check that out, okay? Get knowledgeable about it. Even if you go out here and fail, it's just going to make you better next time, because you'll know what not to do. This garden has never, well, both of these gardens now have never looked this good, ever. You're going to have good years and bad years no matter what you do. And I think that's what we got into last year. I mean, it was just a poor growing year. This year, I've given it my all. I said, hey, I come to the table. I know what I'm doing to the best of my ability. I've researched this. I've tried my best. And if it fails, well, hey, I did all I could. It's not like I'm out here just planting a plant and just hoping for the best. That was the first year. That's why it did no better than it did. You've got to learn about this stuff. I love to research stuff. It's gotten to where I'll take notes. I'll write stuff down. I'm a paper girl. I don't care for electronic stuff, like articles, because a lot of times you'll go back and the article will be gone. And I like to jot down notes. I've got a garden book. I put all of my notes there. The first year that I tried to grow stuff, I even measured it week by week, you know, and I thought, this is a daunting task to put how much okra has grown from week to week. I wish I had stuck with that, because that was so cool, like to look at the measurements and really make it a science experiment. And I learned really quick, like, hey, I've got to come to the table knowing more how to do this before I just observe it. I've got to learn what I'm doing and what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right and how to improve on it. You can never quit improving homesteading. You can never, and the coin homesteading, to me, guys, I don't know how y'all take this. Homesteading to me is growing as much food as you can in the space that you have. You're trying to save money. You're trying not to be dependable on the stores. You're trying not to be dependable on commercial things. You're trying to do stuff on your own. You're trying to be independent. And how many people today in society want to be independent? Not very many. Okay? That's the way it is. We've been trained to think that we have to go to the grocery store. We have to go do this. We have to go do that. We have to go buy a loaf of bread instead of making our own. To me, homesteading, you might try to make a loaf of bread once every 6 months. I mean, really, it starts out that way. It doesn't have to be an everyday thing. I mean, so many people get into this and they think that they've got to be a little house on the prairie in the very first week. That's not the case. This is a long process, and we are nowhere near where I want to be. It's a long, slow process, but you got to come to it knowing that you want to do it, enjoying it, and knowing who you are. I said this on a previous video. So many people are unhappy because they do not know who they are. They're not happy. I enjoyed this, and I didn't start out wanting to do this. I just wanted a little garden. I wanted to see if I could do it, and I just fell in love along the way. This is what makes me happy now. I know this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to do. I know it, and I'm happy with it. Everything, y'all, we've lost our whole flock before by dogs. We've had pitiful gardening years, but I still love it. You're gonna have good times. You're gonna have really bad times. And you just got to keep pressing on. But don't let anybody tell you that you are not doing well enough, or you're not, because I watch some of these people, and that's like, they'll put up a video. You won't hear, they say they got chickens or whatever, you won't hear one rooster, but they're standing in their yard. I mean, you know, with me, you're going to hear it because there's roosters everywhere. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of like we don't know what they have. They may, but they may not. This could be an illusion. I could tell you right now that I'm a dairy farmer and you wouldn't believe any different. I mean, and I don't have one cow. So you got to take into consideration what you're watching and what the truth may be. But you got to kind of separate yourself and know that, hey, this is what I like. I'm unique, and who cares if you fit in or not like this. I mean, how many 31-year-olds are you going to see standing here talking to you wearing a John Fogerty shirt? Not many. Not many. Most 31-year-olds today don't even know who he is. That's what I like. In high school, everybody liked all this, you know, pop music and all that. And there was like a little drive-in restaurant in town. Everybody would pull up every night. And I remember going there one night and everybody was playing all this music. I pulled up playing Haggard and Jones. I mean, that's just who I am, you know, and I love it. Who cares? Who cares? You got to be confident in yourself. You are never going to get anywhere if you're not happy with who you are. Embrace it. You'll know what you like and what you don't like, and you'll learn along the way. We're constantly evolving. Do you think all these animals that I have, they don't grow? No, they start out as little eggs, then baby chicks, and then big old chickens. They constantly evolve, and every one of these animals here have a different personality. Some roosters are mean, some are very docile, Some hens are mean to the baby chicks, like grow outs. So they'll kind of peck at them, and some just mother them. Some roosters want to come up and just jump in my arms like Al in one of my videos on the prefab coops. Some don't want to get near me. Everything has a different personality, but they don't try to change to be like the other chicken. They enjoy themselves for who they are. They are who they are. They, you know, Al, who wants to jump up in my arms, doesn't want to flee from me when he sees me just because one of the other roosters does. No, he still comes and jumps in my arms. You get what I'm saying? So please, do not think that you have to go out here and do all of this stuff to try to be like someone that has 5 million subscribers or whoever. And look, the reason we started this channel is to try to inspire younger people, or anyone for that matter, but especially younger people, to get into this, because I said from the beginning, if I can do this, y'all can do this, because I was somebody who was at a fast food joint every night, somebody who didn't know how to plant anything, didn't have any prior knowledge, and I've learned along the way. And let me tell you something, I wouldn't change that for anything. What makes me feel better laying down at night? Knowing that I did this on my own, or knowing that my parents showed me how to do every step of the way? You don't feel as accomplished. You know? It's better to do things by hand. It's better to do it independently. It's better to do it manually. Everything, that's what I like. That's what I thrive on. If you tell me that I could have all of this and have, you know, just walk out here one morning, it looked like this, am I going to feel that good about this? No. I feel a whole lot better knowing, hey, I got down here, planted all this myself. I learned about this, I researched it, I've done the best I can with it. What's gonna make you feel better at night? Knowing you went and did it on your own? We're doing this because we want to save money. We love to save money. We want to have good food to eat. We want to know that we've done good, clean work. And honest work, and that's what this is. It's just honest, good, clean work. And everybody used to do this. This was the thing in the country. I mean, everybody, 100 years ago, everybody did. And let me tell you something else. People bartered. You know why they bartered? Everybody kind of grew something different. They may have like one crop that was the same, but one may grow pumpkins where the other one grew watermelons, and one may grow corn and they bartered. Everybody didn't go out here and try to grow the same watermelon. That's how they bartered. Because people were good at different things. People were able to grow different things depending on their soil types. Even up and down a road, a county road, you may have one location that's totally different than the next. One may be right beside a creek where it's more sandy than one that's on a hillside that's clay and rock. You know, I mean, everybody has a talent for a different thing. Everybody is more capable of doing different things. You just have to see what you like and hunker down where you are and do the best that you can. I love growing pole beans. That's one of my favorite things, so I'm going to grow it. I have tried over and over. I cannot grow a winter squash to save my life. I've tried, it's just no good. I mean, I can grow it, but the deer get it. So am I going to spend all my time growing a winter squash? No. Because I want food. I want to grow my own food. I love it. And that's just what I like. And I embrace it. If someone says, you know, hey, this is a waste of time, you can go buy it at the store, it's so much easier. Well, okay, that's fine. You go do that. But I'm going to do it this way, you know, because I'm confident and I bring that to the table that this is what I like. And I know I'm unique and I enjoy it. So anyways, I got fired up this morning on this little chicken scratch, but check her out, Hilltop Home Place. I really like what she's doing, and again, I hope she's okay with this. So, and I hope she sees it. But guys, I'm just putting in my 2 cents. You got to know who you are and do the best that you can, whatever that may be. That's why I always say grow something. I don't care what it is, grow something. And the term homesteading is a fad right now. It's gotten way out of hand to me. I'm glad more people, no matter what, are trying to be inspired to grow their own food. But to homestead, in my mind, you do not have to have 500 acres and 4,500 head of cattle and all this. You do not. You do not. to me, in my mind, it's doing it like the old folks used to do. They grew their own food. They lived off the land. They did the best that they could, and they led a simple life. That's what homesteading is to me. You make it what you want it to be, but that's what we're going to keep doing. Guys, keep after it. Look out for our tomato pruning video, and keep on trucking. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead.